Hello, parents, staff, students, anybody who likes to watch my podcasts. I want to welcome you to my office today. We have a special guest today with us, Dr. Lisa Urrea, and it's my first time I've had a guest at a podcast, so I'm new at this, so please don't laugh at me and my interview skills. But we're really excited. It's a Friday afternoon right before the Thanksgiving break, and it's a great opportunity for us to come to you, specifically parents today. We have, like I said, our special guest, Lisa Urrea. She's our principal at Bryant Street. And as part of her, I think, passion for life or passion for work has been work with folks in terms of themselves, where they're at in terms of their spiritual, mental, physical goals, her relational qualities. She's just got an awesome heart and relates so well to folks around her. And so I asked her to come in today and talk a little bit about something we've implemented at our campuses called the 8 Key Strategies. And as an administrative team and as a staff, we've always thought about what are some ways that we can help our kids intrinsically want to be people of good character, intrinsically want to be leaders, as opposed to trying to force them to be something. How can we start with them at the young ages of TK and kindergarten up through 8th grade with building those kinds of skills? When they see somebody hurting, that they have empathy. When they see trash on the ground, they pick it up. When they see there's a need in the community, they try to fill it and serve that way, as opposed to us telling them they have to do this for credit or for a grade. So it's a pleasure to have Lisa with us today, and I'm going to just ask her a few questions. We're going to try to keep this under 10 minutes and then go from there. So welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Glad to have you. Hey, I wanted you to talk a little bit about the 8 Key Strategies and how we're using them at ILCS.
Yes, I'm thrilled that we are using these 8 key strategies for our students, for our teachers, and really everybody that's involved. I have found that I have used these in my personal life, and I have created some of these along the path when I've been working with students and families, and I really believe that they can make the ultimate difference in our students and families' lives. So one of the strategies that we use is really creating that vision board, that vision of the future of what that might look like in a student's life. So when you walk into our classrooms, you will see something like this. It is a vision board that has what the students want to do, be, or create when they're older, and that creates the whys of school. So why a student is sitting in their seat. The next piece is what we call the want to, have to, and this is actually showing students what the behavior looks like of a successful student while they're in the class. And I created this piece when I was working with about 450 failing freshmen at a high school. And I asked the question, why do you go to school? And many of the students said they wanted a better life, they wanted a good education, and other students said that they had to go and they weren't sure. And so I started to think about what does that behavior look like between the student that wants to be in school and the student that has to be in school. And so we created a T-chart and came up with a list of things. And I've done this activity with TK all the way through 12th grade. And what this does is this creates the visual for students as to what it looks like to be successful in a classroom. And when students start to struggle and become that have to in the classroom, we're able to point them to their future goal as to why they're in school and what they need to do to become the want to students. So it creates that vision of the future and what successful behavior looks like.
Seems like the purpose of going to school is really important for them then.
Absolutely. If you don't have that purpose or that vision, a lot of times in schools we just go through the motion and not sure why we're doing what we're doing. And I have found in my own life that I have actually used this. Sometimes when I come to work, I really have to check myself and think, am I in a good mental state? Am I that want to? And what is my future vision for myself? Same with my, being a mom with 2 kids at home. We talk a lot about that path and that future of what that looks like. Which brings me to the next strategy, which is called the path. We talk about the path of success and the path of destruction. And really that behavior of that want to student being on the path of success. And when you are off, you're on that path of destruction, and that's not going to get you to the why, which is that future vision. So the third one is the path. Then we also have who showed up. This one is a mental check-in every morning when you wake up. We tell the students you have the opportunity to show the world who you are, and who are you going to show the world you are. And if you're struggling and having a bad day, as you can see, you have the opportunity to change it. So it's really checking yourself. Where am I? Why am I here? And what can I do about it? This one is a very effective strategy when you have kids that are struggling at home. The next one is called the circle of control and no control. And this one is very powerful. We use this one often with our students, and it's basically teaching them what they're in control of and what they are not in control of. So when a student is struggling, we might say to them, you know, can you control it? Can you change it? Who can you control? Who can you change? And so it's really teaching them how to deal with issues that they might be having. The next one is the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. This is really, really powerful when kids come up against adversity. Mm-hmm. They're struggling with academics in school, really understanding that our brain is always growing and that it's okay to fail. We welcome failure at our school because if you're not failing, that means you're not taking risk and trying new things.
Yeah, a lot of kids feel like if they're not good in math, they're always not going to be good in math, and they don't really recognize that they can work towards that goal of becoming better at something.
Yes.
Just because you're not great at it right now doesn't mean that the hard work and effort can't pay off.
Yes.
And so some of our kids are trapped in that mindset of, oh, I'm never going to be good at math, therefore why try now?
Right.
And so it's critical that they understand that with a lot of hard work and perseverance and those goal setting, like we talked about with the vision board, that they can get themselves to those kinds of levels.
And you know, that was me as a kid. I was a kid that struggled in math, and had I known this when I was a kid, I might have approached it very differently. But that's why I'm very passionate about this work, because I grew up thinking I wasn't smart, and I bought into the fixed mindset of I'm not good at math, I'm not good at these things, and grew up believing that. And man, if our kids can get it starting at TK or even younger, imagine the potential that they'll have. The next one is basically the prepared student, so helping students understand what it looks like to be prepared in school, what that successful student looks like in order to be successful. And then this one is called the 80-20 rule. This has to do with the mental state that you bring every day to any given situation. So I always think about in my life, you know, I want to be moving along and doing good 80% of the time. I give myself about a 20% difference because we're not perfect, we're human. But the most important thing is that you recognize that you're there at that 20% and you're able to shift yourself and change it. Because on any given day, we have 60,000 thoughts in a day, and imagine where you are with all of those thoughts. So if you're rolling with your growth mindset, you know, you're aware of all of these things, and you're trying to live your life in that 80% zone. And I have talked to a lot of students where they'll say, oh, I think I'm 50-50. But the really cool thing is if you recognize that you're out of balance, you can shift it. And that's what this is all about, is really helping kids shift that internal state to that of success.
That's excellent. Is there any ideas that you have for parents at home? Something that comes to mind for me when I work with my son, Trent, when he plays a lot of baseball and he really likes the analogies with sports. And so I'll ask him as we get out of the truck in the morning, are you going to hit a double or triple today, or you got a strikeout mindset?
Yeah.
And basically I kind of try to relate it to his life. I'm asking him, is he ready to really be kind of a can-do kid where I can do some things and I have that growth mindset versus, oh, am I going into school with the idea that I'm striking out today? You see kids when they get to the plate, they've almost got their mind made up whether they're going to hit the ball or whether they're going to duck and hope for a walk and possibly will probably strike out. So, you know, in ways that parents maybe can think of strategies for their own kids, is there anything that comes to mind that maybe has helped you with your own children as you've worked with strategies?
Absolutely. I would say that the whys of why are we here? What's our purpose? Why are we doing this life? And it's that creating that vision as a family. What is your vision as a family? And then really that want to have to mindset. So, if you have kids that are struggling at home, if you're struggling with your parenting, really painting that picture for your family. What does that want to family member look like? What is that key? What are our expectations or the agreements that we're making as a family? And what's the non-agreements that we're making as a family? And really have that T-chart up along with that vision board. So if you have your kiddo that might be doing something that's not appropriate, you point them to that T-chart and say, is that going to get you there to your vision?
Yeah,
so
that's a
it
good point.
really pulls you together. And then really doing the who showed up every morning, checking in with your family members of where are you today?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're there, why are you there and how are you going to shift it? So they all really come together. And I plan on actually doing future podcasts to really talk about each individual strategy. And I'm also going to be doing parent workshops to
Oh, excellent.
help parents with some of these things.
That's great. Yeah, I think anything that in these days it's such a tough job being a parent. And I've got four, and I'm kind of in a different chapter in my life as they've grown up. My youngest is now 13. But these are things that help us as adults, not just the kids. I know for me, when I crawl out of bed, there's some mornings that I get out and I'm grumpy, and I know it's because of stresses or what have you, and I have to get that mindset flowing that no, I don't have to be at the mercy of necessarily the day. I can take steps to change my mindset and be ready to conquer the day and to go into it with that positive mindset that I need to be successful. And I think for us as adults, these 8 key strategies are really important. One thing I've always said is it's for kids especially too, and working with parents, is they catch more as caught than taught. They see you as a model in their life, whether it's a family member, whether it's the adults in the room, the parents, grandparents, but really more is caught than taught. And when they see you modeling these kinds of things, when they see you in challenging circumstances being able to keep a positive mindset, and you have a growth mindset for yourself, when they see you wanting to do things like go to work as opposed to have to, that rubs off, and they recognize those as kind of life skills, and they start to apply them to their own lives, and it's modeled for them. So it's not always easy. I'm not perfect at it by any means, but when I have these strategies in my mind and I'm thinking about them as rubbing off my kids, I'm thinking about what they're seeing in my life as well. And I'm not, like I said, I've messed up enough for them to know what paths not to go down, but I hope that they see more positive than the negative, by all means. Anything else you want to leave us with, Lisa? It sounds like there's more excitement to come in terms of the strategies.
Yeah, like I say, this is, you are right, Mr. Gordon. This is my passion. I use these strategies in my own life. Again, I'm not perfect either. I have my moments and I have my days. One of the things that I try to do when I am struggling with something, I always look internally and I ask myself, what's going on inside of me that's causing me to react to a situation? And it really helps give my power back. And that's one of the things that we're trying to help our kids with, is understand that they have the power to make change in their own life. And it's not on the teacher, it's not on anybody, but to give them the tools and strategies so as they grow. And my vision of education is that we are able to give them these tools and we carry that baton for them when they're little, and as they go and they're graduating, they're able to grab their own baton and take off. That's the big vision.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I don't want to take any more of your time, and thank you for watching today. We'll be back, and I want to thank Dr. Urrea for being here and all the hard work she does at Bryant Street and the great success we've had with the program so far. And we look for more information to come soon for parents. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.